Happy Friday. What's up, boys and girls? Children of all ages. Do I have my lights on? Yeah. Yeah, it looks great. How's everybody doing today? You guys ready to have some fun? Here, I'll give you a little teaser. You guys ready to build some stuff? I know I'm ready. Woo! What's up, Ninja? It's good to see you, man. It feels different because I got my lights shifted around in here and it kind of threw me off for a second. But I still look pretty well lit. Wanted to give you guys a few updates. Let you know what we were going to be doing today. Let you know what we're not going to be doing today. Because reasons, which I'll explain. But the last couple of streams we've been having Christmas in summertime. Christmas in quarantine. We've been opening boxes. I've been doing show and tell of all kinds of new gear. And the time has finally come to put it all together. So, where is it? There it is. Wanted to go over some discoveries I had made about the Canon M50. Because everybody and their mother that's out there streaming is recommending either the A5100 from Sony or the Canon M50. Both of which have pretty much the same feature set. Flip out screen, you can flip it over so you can selfie, so you can vlog, so you can stream, all that stuff. Works great. You can even flip it over so the viewfinder's there and then fold it back in so you can see the viewfinder on the back of the camera when you shoot, right? But it's there to protect it in our lap. Everything about this is magnificent. 4K in Canon's 24p cinematic look. Mwah! It looks incredible. The kit lens that comes with it is a 15 to 45 millimeter. I wanted to go a little bit more widescreen, so I went out and got a 10 to 18 millimeter. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Nikon shooter. So I understand all of Nikon's lens architecture and compatibility and all that kind of stuff. Apparently, which I did not see because it was mostly hidden in plain sight, the 10 to 18 is an EFS lens, which means it doesn't natively fit on the the M50. So you have to buy a $200 adapter. This whole thing might be going back. Also, I cannot get a dummy battery power cord for this thing until at least August. The batteries shooting video last about 20 minutes. That's it. So I can't get a dummy battery, which means I can't use it to stream, which means it's mostly useless to me because I've got a big Bertha Nikon with all kinds of lenses. I don't need this. I got this to be able to stream potentially in 4K and make 4K videos. I can't make long videos and I can't shoot without a dummy battery. Also, I'm not going to... I dropped $500 for this camera kit. I can't even use the lens I want to use without dropping another $200 in addition to the cost of the lens. I think it's $160, whatever. Tax, tag, and title out the door. It's going to be $200 by the time you do all the stuff. So a $500 camera turns into a $1,000 venture. I'm saying all of this because this camera, this Canon M50, gets recommended. It was recommended to me a bajillion times. There are caveats with everything, folks. Absolute caveats with everything. So I just wanted to tell you that recent discovery over the last 48 hours. Make sure you pay attention to the fine print. And make sure you can get all of the things you're going to need to use it. Like a dummy battery. Power cord. What else? What else? That's kind of it. I want to start building some stuff, and I might need you guys. So here's what's going to happen. Let me just do this. So I set up this new thing called Stream HUD. You can see this is my latest subscriber in the middle. This is the number of subscribers we get for the session. All of that. I'm trying out some new overlays and stuff for this bigger format. But we're going to switch. I'm literally just hitting a button on the ATEM back and forth. This is why the ATEM Mini is so awesome. I can put up to 4 of these different camera angles in there. But we've got a builder's table over there where we're going to assemble some stuff today. We're going to put the rack together. We need to do some maths and some measurement on how many rack units I actually need, because this rack is modular, meaning it's got an 8U, 12U, and 22U configuration. Now, my natural gut instinct is to just send it and 22U, because I'll probably fill it up with stuff, and the last thing I'm going to want to do is have to take it down to expand it. To uncable everything, uncable manage, take everything out. So I think what I'm going to do is just put it together as a 22U configuration. I don't know that I'll need that many. It would be nice if I only needed one of these instead of having 2 of them side by side in more of a 12U config. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to that other screen. I've got my shotgun mic set up, so I need, and I'll have an iPad there with chat up so that I can see you guys. I won't be able to hear the music, but you guys can hear the music. And we're just going to have a builder day, right? First time trying this. I want to see if you guys are up for it, see if you guys like watching me put shit together. We can chat about stuff while I'm doing it. Ask me questions in the chat. I'll talk about what I'm doing and my thought process and all of that kind of stuff while we do it. But these are the kinds of things that I was hoping to eventually be able to stream. You guys can also see the whiteboard back there as well, which it's not exactly in this camera angle, but I do hope to be able to do some bigger presentations, architecture discussions, things like that on the whiteboard. I'm half tempted to go to the office and hijack one of those 65-inch Microsoft Surface TVs from the EBC that nobody's used for 3 months now and hang that on the wall. But, yeah. I got all my tools out. I got my drill out. Got my screwdrivers. We're going to put that thing together. I've not done one of these in almost 20 years. Everything I did at a certain point was all cabinets with caster wheels and on raised floors. I haven't done one of these. Man. What was the last office I put? 2000? 2001? But it's interesting how they come together. Triplite does a good job of putting some instructions out for you. I was reading through them last night. The other reason we're doing this today and not hanging it on the wall today is because apparently there is no actual lag bolts that come with it to screw it into the studs. And it's funny how that can be a blessing in disguise, because what I realized was I didn't have any plywood cut. I want to cut and paint some plywood so that I'm not drilling, that I'm not dependent on a 1-inch stud to hold this whole thing up, or 2 of them, I should say. I'd like to go through a piece of plywood so that I can cut some. I want to cut some holes in the drywall in front of the stud so that I can make sure I land dead center on the stud, and then I put a piece of plywood over the top of it. I'd like to paint that plywood white, match the color, all that good stuff. So some little side projects, side quests to knock out this weekend. Little quick, simple things. But today what we want to do is actually put it together. So here's what we're going to do. And I need you guys' help. So make sure you chime in the chat. I'm going to turn this microphone down, and I'm going to turn the other microphone up that's a condenser. And I'm going to stand right underneath it while we're doing it so I can talk to you guys. What I was trying to figure out is how I could play music for myself without it going into the microphone and you guys hearing double and all that kind of shit. But I don't know that I need that today. Maybe I can just play some on my phone or something. We'll figure that out as we go. I'm experimenting here. This is the first time doing it. You guys are along for the ride. I appreciate you being here for it. And let me know if this kind of stuff entices you. But I wanted to try a sort of IRL build stream for the first time today. So let's get to it. I'm going to turn this microphone up. Check. Hey. Yep, you can kind of hear it over there. And I'm going to turn, we're going to change the scene. We're going to change the camera. All right. All right, so can you guys in the chat let me know if you can hear me? I probably need to fix the camera a little bit, but I think I'm going to be bent down. Good evening from a sunny UK. What's up? What's up, Jason? Let me fix the camera just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Sounds a little low. All right, let me turn it up a little bit. This way we can crank it up. I could probably bring that down a little bit too, actually. Gain's too low, yeah. I cranked it up a little bit. I also have to be standing and talking right into it. But let's see how that does. I've got my trusty iPad here. I can see you guys on chat. But how's that sound? Is that better? Does it still need more? I got a little bit more gain. I'm also going to reroute this weekend through my cloud lifter so that it really amps it up quite a bit, gives it that clean gain. I was trying to think if I could do that right now, but not easily. It would take a little bit. I'd have to go dig some cables out. Sounds good? Good. Okay. All right. So what I'm looking at here is we've got the two frames that are going to make up sort of there's the anchor points on the back, right? And it's going to sit just like that. I think I've got them upside down, actually. I'm not sure. Handy dandy instruction manuals, right? Or lower the music. More power. Do we still need more, guys? Let me know if we still need more or the music's too loud. Turn it up to 11. All right, that's about all but maxed out right there. It's probably picking up a lot of hissing too, which you got the same shirt. Yeah, man. It's the classic. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, so handy dandy instruction manual. The cool thing about the Trip Light one is that it comes in an 8U, 12U, and 22U different configuration. This one it's the Trip Light wall mount rack, wall mounted 2-post open frame rack. The model number is SRWO 8U22. It's about $100, between $100 to $120 US if you're looking for something like this. And I think I'm just going to send it and go for the 22U configuration, because why not? We've got this big bubble wrapped thing of bars here that we've also got to unwrap. Let me get my knife. Where's my knife? That's not a knife. There it is. This is a knife. Yeah, it's been about one of my first jobs that I had. First IT jobs. I think I've told this story before on stream. Was I figured out how to do shared folders in Windows. I keep looking up at the microphone like that's my camera. It's not. That's gonna take some getting used to. Oh man. Lots of stuff. Is that it? So one of my first tech jobs was I worked at think of it like a car dealership for heavy equipment. And I worked the parts counter. So if you needed a piece for your car, if you needed a lug nut or something like that, a new filter, you would go into the dealership, you would go to the parts counter and you would say you needed X, Y, and Z. Well, the way that they find all those part numbers is in catalogs. And the way that they find the actual number they need is they have exploded view diagrams of the entire breakdown of every portion of the car. The drivetrain, the body, the interior, everything. So I was a parts guy at a heavy equipment dealership. And I had one of those giant, the manufacturers like Ingersoll Rand, Komatsu, those were the big shot ones that we carried. So they would send us CDs, compact discs of all the exploded views of all the parts and mock-ups of the design specs and the part number catalogs and all of that stuff so that we could do order entry of the part numbers that the customers needed, right? Every time I needed to go to a different machine, a different model number, a different year, I'd have to dig through my case, find the right CD, put it in the machine, wait for it to spin up and load, all that good stuff. So what I figured out how to do was to take and manually copy all of the folders and files off of that CD into a single folder on a central computer and just do a Windows share. And then instead of in the app itself, in the client software, you would choose which drive letter was your CD drive, but I convinced them to allow me to manipulate that so that I could put it into a UNC path. So they patched the software and changed it so instead of choosing a drive letter, I could actually put in a path. So that could be a drive letter or a whack UNC path. Once I did that, every time a new CD would come out, we would just load the new files onto the computer, and it was lightning fast. There was no more swapping of CDs. We would load the CDs onto the server, and then they would get stored. Never needed them anymore. So that was before things went viral. So that went viral, so to speak, inside of my company at all 12 branches that we had in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And that turned into me traveling around to the 11 other branches that we had and putting in small racks with telco equipment and high-speed internet. And this was in the 1999-2000 timeframe. This was before I had my MCSE, or this was before I knew I wanted to work in IT as a career. So, what was I? So I was like 22 at the time. And I had been building my own gaming PCs at this point. I was playing Unreal Tournament competitively and things like that. But it was a pretty big game changer. After that, they gave me I was just a guy working at a parts counter, and they gave me a job working in IT in the central office in Charlotte. And that's where I met several friends who got me into some contract work, doing cable pulls, power distribution, setup of new data centers, things like that for, I'll name drop, Bank of America, Google, a lot of stuff through Robert Half, Signature Group, lots of little contract gigs like that. Anyone else want a data center at home but don't know what they would do with it? For me, it would probably be a Threadripper build server running Proxmox. So it's interesting that's a great point. I'm not trying to build a data center. but it's going to end up looking like one. And I think any modern home, let's say built 2015 forward, is going to have some level of data center in it. And it's probably more akin to an SMB, but it's not like enterprise caliber, raised floor, all of that kind of stuff. But if you look at any given prosumer home these days, they're going to have probably in-house audio management over Ethernet. They're probably going to have Cat 5 or Cat 6 that has to be networked and patch paneled and distributed. Anybody that's worth their salt is going to have some kind of network storage. There's going to be streaming involved. You're going to want to streaming of content, meaning like Hulu or Netflix or anything like that. So there's a lot of reasons to do it. I'm looking forward to I'm actually thinking about taking all of the drops that go into, on the other side of this wall right here is our laundry room in the house. And inside the laundry room, there's a giant, about 40-inch electrical box. And that's where all the drops go in. So it's literally in this shared wall right here. And I'm thinking about how I could pick this up, bring it over one room in the attic, and drop it down right into the data center and completely eliminate that box from the laundry room. And I can just run it straight into a patch panel that's going to be in this rack and network everything right there. So that's more of a long-term stretch goal. We'll see what actually happens with that. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking forward to doing. But first, if I'm looking over at my table right now, there's a 1 gig core switch. There's a 10 gig, call it a top of rack switch from MikroTik. There's 2 8-bay Synologies. There's a 4G LTE cell hotspot from T-Mobile. And of course my Eros that are handling my network DHCP, Wi-Fi mesh, all that kind of stuff as well. The core one sits over there. And that's about it. So realistically, I could probably get away with the 12U. The thing that's going to take up the most space is 2 8-bay Synologies stacked on top of each other. Each of them sitting in these 2U shelves, right? So one of the things we've got to measure out once I put this together is how tall are each of the Synologies in the shelves. That's probably going to eat up half the rack right there with just the 2 Synologies. See what I mean? Yeah. So I think we're going to see a standard, and the housing code continues to evolve. I'm good friends with somebody who's a general contractor and a builder, and they constantly tell me how month to month the codes are changing and evolving. Everything is being done over Ethernet. Power is being delivered over Ethernet to various home automation devices. Smart homes are becoming more standard and assumed rather than like fancy add-ons. So thermostats, alarm systems, door sensors, all of that, and they're just running it over Cat 5e. Even though they might only use one pair to signal, like a sensor or something like that. Some of them are going to require all 8 to deliver power, if you got a little control panel or something on the wall. But here in the house, I've got the Legrand on-cue speaker system where it's flush mount speakers in various zones in the house. And it was here when we moved in. It's not something I put in, but it's all Ethernet. The power panel, the control panels that are on the wall for tuning volume and changing sources, and it all runs back to a central pack of modules that are also in that laundry room utility box that's in there. So, I mean, when we say every home needs a data center, I'm seeing a lot of guys put them in garages with cooling, with an HVAC, dedicated HVAC tubing, and extractor fans and things like that. I'm thinking about doing a pull extractor fan out of the ceiling of the closet that I'm going to be putting this in. So, lots of good stuff. All right, let's get started. I could sit here and ramble on for days. I'm just going to send it and do a 22U because I think, you know what? I'm sorry I'm be off camera for a second, but I'm going to measure one thing real quick. All right, so the height of one of those Synologies from the bottom of the foot to the top is 6 1/4 inches. So if I just measure that right there, where's one of my... That right there is just shy of 4U. So each Synology is going to take up 4U. So that's 8U out of 20. Right there, that's 8U consumed. Just having the two Synologies on here. There's a max weight rating on this rack of 150 pounds. So that's well within what I've got to be putting on it. It's two little light switches and two Synologies, really, at the end of the day. So... You don't need aircon in the UK. My lab is out there, but it's not on all the time. Yeah, I mean, but this stuff is going to be... This isn't for lab, really. This is, like, ongoing day-to-day. And that's one of the differences. Like, this is going to be subjective and different for everybody out there. Everybody's going to use this kind of stuff differently. For me, this is my home NAS. It's got my Plex server. It's got my long-term archival storage on it. It's got dozens of terabytes of stuff. It's mostly just a bunch of stuff at the end of the day. All right, so let's put this thing together. 22U. Using one of the mounting rail tie plates and 4 of the 10mm screws, connect one set of shorter and longer vertical mounting rails. Oh, okay, so you're basically making segments. Connect one of the shorter and longer. Okay, so basically what we've got two sets of mounting rails. We've got two sections. So I guess for your 8U configuration and your 12U configuration, right? I guess we've got two different sizes. Can you guys see that? So basically we're going to connect one of the long ones and the short ones with a bracket. And we'll probably do that twice. Where are they actually connecting it? Oh, I see. And they've got these slider brackets here that are going to basically lash the two of them together. If I can find the right place to do this. The pictures are kind of shitty. Does it wrap around? Oh, there it goes. Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this up close on camera so you can see it. So this has grooves. You can see that groove right there? And then this one has grooves as well. And basically it slots in over the top of that one. Am I doing that right? There it is. It slots in over the top of that one, slides right in there. And then you can see that there's 4 screw holes right here. 2 of them are going to be on each of the posts. All right, some screws out. Cable ties. Never can have enough of those. Warning. The wall surface, the wall studs, and all user-supplied mounting hardware. Disclaimer, we don't want to be responsible for your rack falling out of the wall. The rack can support equipment up to its max load capacity of 150 pounds. Wall mounting holes are spaced 16 inches apart horizontally to accommodate standard placement of wall studs. Yep. Got it. Thank you. All right, so we need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put those in 2 of the 4 holes there. Come on. Let me make sure that's the right. Come on, DeWalt. Talk to me. Is that the wrong? Those are rack mount screws. Are they different? Oh, there are different screws. Oh, all right. So now we have to play the sorting game because they put them all in the same bag. Great. Good job. All right. Let's try this again. Hey, that's better. That works better. There we go. And one more. That. Back that one out a little bit. I never tighten these down until I'm done and until I can make sure they're lined up. So now we got to take, that was the long one, and now we're going to take the short one, slide it in there the same way. I put that one in the wrong place. Already messing up. First bar. The microphone's also falling. You guys see that? I got to tighten that screw a little bit more. Boom in the shot. Give me 1 second, I get this done. I'll straighten that mic out. Why are you just falling, dude? Come on, man. When in doubt, I always RTFM, man. Always. I read the manual last night before I was even on stream. Give out a good crank. All right, there we go. Okay, back to it. Now we got it together. So now we're gonna take the, so basically it's a little coupler bar that's gonna go in there. 2 screws on each side, and then we're going to bring this one, the shorter beam, into there. And we're also going to put 2 more in this one. Come here. All right, so I'm going to line up everything just right. Give it a little punch, a little torque. Oh, and I hit the mic, sorry. So there we go, there's one. We're gonna do that again, and then we connect them to the doodah, the actual cage itself. Yep, there we go. Nope, that's not right either. There we go. This is the way. Still got, yeah, I see it. It's fine. It'll probably fall again. Thank you, Ninja. I appreciate you pointing that out, though. You guys are always here for me. I've been trying to tell you guys, I'm a terrible streamer. Terrible, terrible streamer. All right, and then this guy is gonna go in. So, come here. Try not to hit the mic this time, Nick. I always just get them started just a little bit, otherwise you're probably gonna strip them out. But once they're started, you can just crank them in. So snug them up a little bit. Just to the point where they go taut. And then we can do any kind of alignment. That looks good. The beauty of these brackets, one of the things I love Trip Light so much is they're so meticulously machined. Like these are so well. I don't even have to worry about alignment issues. The screws and the way that the brackets come together just absolutely kills it. Knocks it out of the park. It just snugs everything up perfectly. There we go. All right. Technically, you're supposed to torque those down, but it's about 35 foot-pounds. That's number 9 on the DeWalt. That's about 40. Hey, at least you stream more than can be said for some of us. Yeah, man, I see all you guys dropping thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of gear, and I just want to see you guys start crushing content, man. You can buy all the gear in the world and never do anything with it, and too many people do that from time to time, so I'm happy to see. Congrats to Jason, started his new YouTube channel this morning. I love the new graphics, man. That stuff looks awesome. Let's see. This is the way. Yes. This is the way. I don't know why I keep talking to the microphone. I think it's just how I'm inclined. So, if I'm looking at one of these, let me do some quick maths here real quick. So, I said that the Synologies were going to take up 8 U's. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then I'll probably leave a space. So, I'll leave a space on the bottom, and we'll do a 2U rack, or shelf, I should say. And then I'm going to do 2 more U for the top of the Synology. Theoretically, that shelf and the Synology should be 4U. If I leave a space, that's going to put me at another 4. And I'm going to have plenty of room up here for switches, patch cable management, things like that. My intention is to put a patch cable management cover, like a channel, in between the 2 switches as well, so that I can manage those. And they're like $30. They're not very expensive at all, but they look nice, you know. All right, so where'd my book go? Here it is. All right, so we did that. Insert one end of the combined vertical mounting rails into the corners of the bottom panel frame. All right, so let me set one of these off to the side. No, you stop. Stop it. Getting the channel introduction film this weekend. Attaboy. I want to redo mine because I even looked like Deckard Cain in that video. I was way overgrown, kind of like I am now. We're cutting the hair again this weekend for the second time during quarantine. I'm going to let the girl get the clippers after my undercut. Yeah, he did post it, Ninja. That's how I saw it. New graphics look awesome, Jason. All right. Jason, one suggestion I could throw at you real quick. I just randomly rethought about it. Have them do an off-white background for you so that you could lay some text on it if you need to, like a gray or a slate kind of color with your logo on it instead of white, and make sure they give you a transparent one as well. Alpha is what I'm trying to think of. All right, so let me look at this diagram, make sure I do this right. So the mounting holes are in the back. And it looks like I'm going in, is it this way? Yes. And then use M510. So the same ones are going to go on the sides. Can you guys see this? No, it's kind of out of the frame. One second. There we go. It's a little better. OBS is on Linux? Yeah, man. The problem is that none of the other shit is. So sure, you can do it, but good luck with things like any kind of third-party integrations and plugins and things like that. They really don't get developed for Linux, unfortunately. I hate that. I hang out in the OBS Discord channel myself with some of the developers, mostly trying to talk to them about the NDI implementations and things like that. But yeah, there's a few guys in there that are doing Linux stuff. We'll snug these up real quick. There we go. And same thing on the other side. Super easy construction and assembly here, guys. This is not hard stuff at all. The hardest part of this is going to be mounting it to the wall. And I actually considered doing the mounting first, mounting the frames and then putting the rails on. But the more I thought about it, the more that's realistically not possible. It's not a thing, unfortunately. So 2 more screws down here in the bottom. I really just want to make sure I get the mounting right so that A, it doesn't fall off the wall, B, it doesn't look like shit, and C, I don't get the wrath of other parties for my shoddy construction. Alright, snug these puppies up. Hit this side again. All right. Speaking of other parties. Oh, God. All right. You've got the original AI, EPS, and PSD files. Can use as many colors. Hey, man, there you go. And if I remember right, you bought Affinity, so good learning. I don't know why I keep looking up at the microphone. I feel stupid every time. All right, now insert the other end of the combined vertical mounting rails and secure them with 2 screws on the same way. Okay. So I guess we're putting the other side on already. I need to get some of this stuff off the table. Clap, clap, clap. Will that sit back there? Yes, that's dangerous. I'm probably gonna knock that over. All right. So we'll do this. And this will be the top. Okay. 2 more of the little guys. Don't get your beard caught in the screwdriver. Although I think I might be the only one that has that, from a length perspective, problem right now. You guys having fun? Is this the kind of stuff that you're here for? I love that you guys are hanging out. I appreciate it. Watching me put shit together. I hope the sound and the music still sounds okay. I don't have headphones on, so I can't monitor it. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do some in-ears or something like that to be able to hang out with you guys more. All right, let's see. So now we got to do the straps, and those are going to connect to these brackets that we joined. Are these the right ones? These are the only 2 left, so I guess they have to be. Yeah, definitely look at Shure. You know I'm a Shure fanboy. Shure, for me, Shure and Rode, and for certain applications, Sennheiser. Specifically shotgun mics. Like if my voiceover stuff, I usually do in a booth with a Sennheiser mic. I have some bad news to report, by the way. My voiceover agent decided to close up her agency this past week because of coronavirus, and really just how that industry has been decimated by Fiverr. The voiceover industry has always gone through tough times, and I can tell you that I've spent
the better part of $10,000 personally on training, coaching, gear, software, recordings, professional recordings and demos, websites. And I got an email earlier this week, just a paragraph. Sorry guys, we tried everything we could, but we're gonna have to close up shop. There's no money left in the industry outside of like the top 1% celebrities and the established people, and people aren't spending money on voiceover anymore. It's kind of a wake-up call. Not that it was some huge source of income that I'm gonna miss out on, but it was sort of it was a bit of an awakening. It was an eye-opener. Yeah, awful news, Jason. For them, Lena was somebody who has dedicated her entire career. She was an agent at CAA specifically for voiceover talent. She was a voiceover talent herself who decided to get into the other side of the business. Spent 10 or more years at CAA in LA, and then went out and started her own agency and was super successful doing all of that until about 3 or 4 years ago. And just coronavirus was the death knell. It was the final nail in the coffin. They couldn't make it all work anymore. So, all right, I'm trying to figure out where to put these. I keep getting distracted with telling you guys stories. It doesn't show. Okay, so I'm supposed to connect it to this bracket, and it's supposed to go up to. What? Is there a bar I'm missing? Maybe that's the wrong one. There's two different ones. They're opposing sides. They've got different ledges. There'll be more of that as time goes on. Absolutely. I think the entire world is going to be changed after the last 30 days. You know, between coronavirus and the what I think could become the next civil rights movement. If you combine all of the strife that the LGBTQ community has gone through in the last decade, just to be able to get married. If you think of everything that we've been through since Rodney King and the LA riots of the early 90s, 30 years. Here we are 30 years later. And we're basically doing the exact same thing. I would argue on several orders of magnitude larger. It's global this time. It's not just in Los Angeles. It's global. I think we're going through what could be a lot of people talk about Martin Luther King and what happened in '65 and the Civil Rights Acts of 1965. I think this one could be bigger. The outcome of this is going to be monumental. It's going to be political. It's going to involve how we police. It's going to involve justice. It's going to involve civil rights and equality across the board. This could be the beginning of undoing a lot of things, like the things that Edward Snowden exposed. And I know I might be talking hyperbolic right now, but that's how I think. I think of what is this going to change ultimately. Hopefully it changes a lot of things. We all know a lot of things need to change. So that goes there, and that is not fit. Is it going out? Is it supposed to be facing out? The ledge? The lip? Oh yeah, okay. So if I'm looking at this the right way, let me do it that way. Let me just get this stood up. I'm worried about, oh, it's solid. It ain't going anywhere. All right. I was worried about standing it up for warping, but that son of a bitch ain't going nowhere. Oh, yeah. 22U. All right, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this now. So they're putting it into the double holes on the side of the bracket. Oh, I did it upside down. That's what my problem is. I did it upside down. The shorter bar, which ends right here, was supposed to be on top. Not the end of the world. But I'm supposed to put these braces into the side holes there. I mean, okay. You know what? Fine. We'll take it back apart. It's like 8 screws. It's not a big deal. Let me pick all these up though. And get them up off the table. You don't want their oil all over the table. And then we'll put some shelves in. We'll do some test fitting. I'm going to power down one of the Synologies and we'll sit it in here and we'll do some test fits and all kinds of good stuff. But sorry, guys. Got to pop it back out and flip the bars around. And I think I can do this fairly easily, just doing them one at a time. Phew, that drill stinks. No! Well, that was lucky. Hopefully it didn't destroy my iPad. Live on camera on YouTube. Nope, still working. Ta-da! We're good. So now I basically just got to turn this around. So no, I can't do them individually. I have to do them all at the same time. Live on the tubes of you, Nick blows up his iPad. Thankfully I didn't. Thankfully. Because that's a heavy piece of metal. Wow. I'm surprised that didn't do more damage. Very, very pleasantly surprised. All right. So the short side goes on top. Long one goes... So it's going to be like that. Okay. Alrighty. Man, that could have been bad. It also hit my phone. My phone is sitting right next to my iPad. And it did one of those things. What's where the cartoon character is standing there and the side of the house falls over and he's standing right where the window comes down? That's kind of what just happened. Alright, short side on top. Got it. Flip it around. Same thing again. Make sure we got the short side up this time. Yes, okay. OSHA violation? Yeah, man, I don't have my required PPE for doing construction. I don't know how I would screw these tiny little M5 cap screws in with giant leather gloves on. Or I should secure any heavy stuff to the wall with cables. All right. Put it on its side again, and we'll do trip light here and here. The reason that it fell, I thought I had put screws in already on both sides of this one, so that when I took the other one apart, this one came loose. I thought there were still screws down here on the bottom. Oops. Brad Shepard, what's up, man? Coming over from the wrestling show. How you doing, brother? Just come over to see what I do when I'm not talking about the graps. I needed more power to do the wrestling show. That's what this is all about. Oh man! All right, I should have 2 more of those little screws in here, baby ones. There's one. Seeing what Data Center Dude is up to. Data Center Dude is building a data center. Kind of. Sort of. Not really, but still, kind of. There's a rack, and there's networking gear, and there's patch panels and storage arrays. If that's not a data center, what is? Right? It's more like a telco rack. I'm building a telco rack. If we're talking in data center terms. That's what's really going on here. All right. Now we are cooking with some chicken grease. All right. Well, I need that. Okay. So I do need that on its side. I just want to do this side first so that I get it right. So the whole problem, the reason I had to take it back apart and flip it was because the length of the bar was in the wrong place. So now I should be able to that to that. Now it makes sense. Okay, so which screws am I using? The M6 12 millimeters. Okay. Attach the right side and left side support straps by securing 8 of the M6 by 12. Okay. Is that one? No. Is it this one? No. Is there more than 2? This is the problem. They should have labeled these a little bit better. Should have baggied them a little. Hey, Triplite, if you're watching, separate your mounting hardware. So I think it's that one and that one. Oh, it is 2. They double them up. Okay. So it's the panhead ones. It looks like. Yeah, because the others are actual rack screws, which I've got bags and bags of, by the way. So panheads, and I should have 4 more of those for the other side. Always hang on to your hardware, kids. Whether that's cables, screws. Maybe that is the wrong one. Whether it's cables, mounting hardware, brackets, any of that kind of stuff, really. Always hang on to it. Yep, that's the right one. Okay. Damn it, Triplite. Well, at least we know now. There we go. Get these guys back out of here. Sorry, screws. Used you in the wrong place. Oh, nope. Come back. Get back. Back. This is really annoying. It's like finding a needle in a haystack because there's only a couple of these left. and it's the only way to tell the difference. There it is the head of the bolt. Something's not right there. Come on. Should have done that one first. There we go. I'm gonna crank that up a little bit and hammer that. Nope. Yeah. Forgive the noise, guys. Driving them in a little harder. There we go. Flip it over and do the other side. Actually. And then once I put this strap on, that's the last piece. I'm going to go back around probably with a manual, or I'll just hit them with the torque on the DeWalt. Double check every screw. Was it up? Yeah, it was up here. So those two and those two. Brilliant, brilliant. Nope, it's wrong. So it should be the fatties. Nope, too tight. There we go. And up here. And there should be two more. There's one, and that's a panhead. That's different. Is it the same screw? Yeah. Should be the same. All right, rack built. There we go. So what'd that take? Other than me having to take it apart again, you know, half an hour. Not that hard. $100 and a half an hour. Mounting this will probably take an hour to find pilot holes. I want to put up the plywood first so that I can have other sort of things tacked to it for cable management and things like that. Any kind of demarcation I might want to do in the future. Things like that. I'm thinking about like having a point of demarcation for the house as a whole. I'm also trying to reach out to AT&T to see if I can do actual termination to my equipment instead of their shitty router that they use. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Probably not going to happen if I'm being honest. I know the answer. I know what's going to happen. Well, we have to maintain security, and how else are we going to be able to sell all of your browsing data and all that stuff that we collect on you and give it over to the government? Right? Yada, yada, yada. All right. Real quick.
Let's switch things back over to here. Take a breather for a minute. And what we're going to do is... $16 out of 10 out of 210. We're going to jump into... no, let's do 211. Nebula, I think is what we named her. Voyager, that's what it was. Nope, that's wrong too. And we're going to go user shutdown. Yes. All right. So basically, what I want to do is I want to pull one of the Synologies out. I want to test fit my cyber power into the bottom and the power strip right above that, and then put the shelf in, and then put the Synology on top of it, and then put the other shelf in, and that'll give me an idea of just how high up I want to bottom load as much of the weight as I can. The shelves, the switches basically weigh nothing, right? So they're gonna be up top. But I want to test fit that stuff over here on the bench before we go much further. So wanted to come over here. Did it shut off already? Yes, it did. So bear with me. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to switch it back over to the bench, and then we're gonna. You guys will. I'm gonna be working over here. I got to unplug, and I'll bring over one of the Synologies in just a second. So be right back. Alrighty then. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you guys can still hear me from this one. I did turn the gains back around. Just let me know. Yes, no? Good. Thank you, man. All right. There's the cyber power. It's really heavy. For a 1U unit, this thing weighs a ton. All right. So I got to find the ears. They should be... Should be here somewhere. Here they are. The whole kit. Oh, it is a Ziploc. Okay. So again, UPS on the bottom, power strip right above it, and then a shelf with the first Synology. I may leave a 1U gap because I've got all the room between the shelf and the top of the power strip, just in case I need to snake anything through. We'll see how everything mounts up, though, once we get it all put together. Instructions, great. Here are the ears. Oh, that's cool. It's got a little handle on it. Nice. Nice, nice. Yeah, nice. What do you guys say in England? Oh, it's a bit of me, is that? I've never really understood what that was, where that was from, or what that was supposed to mean, other than just saying, oh, I really like that. Help me understand there, Jason. What's the background of that phrase? Is it basically just a Cockney slang way of saying, I really like that?
Is that the top? No. I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm not even sure. It must be a proper London term. So my best friend who's from Leeds taught me that phrase. Maybe it's a Yorkshire thing. They have all kinds of catchphrases in Leeds and Yorkshire. Yorkshire! You what? They have their own language, yes. So, fun story. One of my best friends, some of you guys might know him. Never put rack ears on with a DeWalt. I am a professional. Do not try this at home, kids. Always use a screwdriver. Did I hear someone calling for proper London? No, we're just trying to figure out where that phrase comes from. Ooh, that's a bit of me, is that? I just don't know where that's from. Cultural England slang has always fascinated me. I think the first time we were really exposed to it in America was probably with Snatch in 2000. We didn't really have any like widespread pop culturally hitting films until Snatch, I think. You'll explain that inside joke another day? All right. That probably means it's naughty and you don't want to say it on YouTube, but I get it. I get it. Ugh. The reason I said don't use the DeWalt to put these in, I just don't feel like going to find my Phillips head right now. I don't know where it is. Most people have an itchy trigger finger and they just crank on it. I'm more precise with the DeWalt than I am with a handheld screwdriver, to be honest. Just so many years of just feeling the threads lock in and putting stuff in racks, and I can't remember the last time I put anything together that was a handheld screwdriver, honestly. All right, so there we go. All right, that's the top. That's the top. All right. Some rack screws. I hope this table can hold it. I've laid on it. I'm over 200 pounds, so it should be fine. It's not that much weight. All right. Might have to turn this to the side so I can get at it from the edge. To start, I'll show you guys some of my tricks too for rack mounting stuff. Always start with the bottom screws, because then you can just screw it. If you really hit it, it'll bring it. It'll stand it up for you. There you go. Evens it up, and then you throw the top ones in. Always, if you're taking gear out, always take the top ones out, leave the bottom ones in. Because if you think about it, the physics of the way that it's hanging in the rack, it'll allow, if you leave the bottom ones in, it holds it in place and it lets the top of the ear be a resting point where it holds it in place. Never take the top screws out, or sorry, the bottom screws out first, because it'll wing out at you. I know most of you watching probably know that, but just in case somebody's watching that doesn't. No. Why didn't you line up properly? That's not good. Come on now. Come on, people now. Smile on your brothers, everybody get together. Try to love. Are these not? Wow, okay. Something might be wrong about these ears. The holes are not lining up. Interesting. So we might just have to do the bottom ones then. Not a big deal. We'll do that for now. And that's the funny thing. For little 1U stuff, one screw on each side is usually enough. You don't need two. It's overkill. I know everybody wants to have all their screws in place and all their rails, but for little 1U telco rack kind of units, and a lot of times the ears won't line up perfectly. I've had to drill out and have ears machined and all kinds of stuff, because sometimes telco rack stuff is different than what actual U-based cabinets are. Their mounting patterns. Next was the trip light. Power strip. That one lines up perfectly, as it should. Yeah, I think the ears on this Cyber Power are wrong. I'm wondering if they sent two different. They did not. Sometimes they'll send both with certain pieces of gear. These are cage nuts. What are these for? I don't even know what those came with. No? Usually use cage nuts for like rail systems. I don't know why I have cage nuts, but alright. So again, 2 is fine. It's a little power strip. You don't need the whole thing. Go. And now the shelf, I probably will put both in. Turn that back around so you guys can see as it's coming together. Let me test fit this shelf here and see what we're working with. Yeah, see, if I wanted to go all the way down, but if I come up there, that leaves me enough room for vent. Yeah, see, this one's all okay. There we go, right on the U line. Yep. All right. You guys still good? Audio still good? Music still playing? I can't tell, so you guys gotta let me know. Good, thanks, man. All right, so I am gonna put the top ones on the shelf. Even though you really don't need it, it's more of just a fulcrum point and holding it in place than anything. It doesn't actually add support into the rack or the shelf itself. The shelf gets all the support from the ear, but what it does is keep the it shares the weight. It keeps it in place, right? In case one of the bottom ones do snap for whatever reason or are held there. Oh, that's awkward. Right. Oh, I hit the mic again. Sorry, guys. me do a little camera action here. So that's really what I wanted to get done. That gives me an idea. Now what I need to do, the last little thing, is see how much space I've got. So I can go right to that next one right there. Make sure you guys can see this. Yep. So here we go. This is also, once we're off stream, this is also going to let me get a grease marker and make some marks where everything goes. And that way I know when I take it all apart later, once I'm off stream and we go to mount it. I'm hoping to mount it and just flip the camera around over to the closet on stream as well, just so you guys know. But that way I can just have everything in the right place. The whole point of this test fitting stream was really about making sure that all the holes lined up and everything works. Looking good. Looking good. Bang! There we go. Ta-da! Oh, and I'm still cut off. Awesome. Beautiful. Great. Grand. That should be better. So there we go. And what time is it? How much time do we do that in? 2:30? About an hour and a half. Test fit all the gear. My ears for my SG300 should be here today as well. Then we're going to take the two switches, mount them up here. I'm also, what I didn't tell you guys was I also ordered a Pantronic, what do you call it? Like a channel, a patch, or a, I don't even know what the actual word for that thing is. I always called it a channel. But to put between the two switches so you can drop your cables into it and it's got a little cover on it, right? Got one of those, so switch, channel, switch. That's 3 U's at the top. And then by the time we get to, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, so we're still going to have 8 U left over once everything's in here. So, I mean, the great part about that is that I can take another one of these shelves if I want to for what, $40, and I can put my Eero, my cell spot from T-Mobile. I can put that on here as well, and all of the cabling associated with it that's also goes up to the switches. I'm also looking at, like I said at the beginning of the stream, bringing that whole utility box that's in the next room over, pulling all those drops back up out of the wall, and relocating them over to where this is going to go on the other side of the room. The fun part is, let me just show you guys real quick. If I can, I don't know if I can turn the camera that far. Let me see if it'll let me, if I got enough slack. I've got another closet right there with a bunch of cables and everything in it. And right on the other side of the wall, behind in that closet, is where that utility box is. Okay? So I actually considered putting this in that closet instead. So yeah, I'm excited about this. This is something that's long overdue. I've been wanting to do this for I wanted to do this in the previous house before we moved in here. But yeah, putting all this together Really looks great. Finally happy to have some UPS power, especially for the Synologies. That's really the only thing that it depends on, that's going to depend on that. But I'm going to run everything through it for the surge protection. That's why we got the trip light in here with the 15 amp PDU. So we can run everything to the trip light and then plug the trip light into the CyberPower. So yeah, guys, there we go. 2 switches, 2 Synologies, power strip, UPS, and we're going to have a cell spot, some other networking gear. All of this, so if I add all this up, let's call this $120 for the rack itself. The shelves, I believe, were $40, so let's say 120 and 80. We're at 200. The power strip is 85, so 285. The UPS, I believe, is 150. Yeah, so for about $350. You can't beat it. You're not going to beat Trip Light's quality when it comes to the construction. Really, really top notch. Right up there with other vendors like APC that we usually depend on to make racks and things like that. So I'm going to switch cameras and mics and sit back down and take a breather for a minute. 1 second. I'll be right back. All right.
What'd you guys think of that? You guys like watching stuff like that? There's a good dozen of you in here, so I don't know if you're just being nice and hanging out to pump the numbers, or if you genuinely want to watch and you're interested in this stuff. That's kind of what I want to find out, because I like doing this kind of stuff. I like doing how-to material. I like doing instructional type of content and things like that. You guys saw the whiteboard in that shot. Definitely, that camera that I'm shooting with right now today is going to end up, as I've said many times before, right here in the so that we can do some architecture conversations and stuff. Seeing the studio come together with the changes and all is fun. Yeah, man. It's fun for me too. Long overdue at the end of the day. Like to see it as it progresses, where you mount it, what else? Yeah, man. I think did I show you? I don't think I showed you guys. Let me show you guys real quick. 1 sec. So there you go. It's basically gonna be, that table is coming out of there, and the switches and every other things that are sitting on that table's coming out. There's a shredder and a printer and all kinds of other stuff that's in there. But it's basically gonna go on the right hand side. You can see where that shelf has that brace that's right in the middle. It's gonna go to the right of that. The idea being that if I ever wanted to do a second one, I could put a second one on the other side of that brace. So we'll see how it goes in there. I got to do some measuring later. I got my stud finder out. I got to do some markings. I got to go get a sheet of plywood, and hopefully they'll cut it for me at Lowe's because I don't have a saw. But I just need to get some measurements. No, I'm sure they will. They usually do. And I also got to get some big lag bolts and pre-drill some holes. I got to cut out some drywall. Yeah, little project, but the actual mounting of it, I want to do on stream with you guys. And the installation of all of the gear, I don't know how riveting of a stream it'll be to watch me do cable management, but we're going to try it. We'll see what happens. And then powering everything back up, troubleshooting any issues. Hopefully getting to do that stuff on Monday. But I got a couple little side quests I got to do first this weekend before we get out of here. But yeah, there we go, guys. I'm sweaty. I actually worked up a sweat. Some of that gear is really heavy. I'm getting old. I'm not used to picking up 4U servers anymore. I used to be able to pull the big NAP storage arrays out to the end of the rails, grab their handles, snap their quick releases on the rails, grab the handles, and like kill my lower back by leaning into it, turning around and sitting it on the ground. Got to set up a top-down cam for the cabling. I was thinking about that. It's either I have to use this one, and maybe I just repurpose this camera temporarily for over there so that we have a wide shot and a close-up shot. I don't know. We'll see. I thought today I was going to be putting it in the closet. I discovered late last night that I didn't have mounting hardware, and it's kind of a blessing in disguise because it gave me the opportunity to take a step back and go, oh no, we need to put this thing together first, and that's going to take an hour plus, and we need to test mount all the things and space them out properly. I need 8 cameras. Yes, I need 8 cameras. I need an engineer that can switch cameras around, that can dial in microphone gains, all that stuff. One-man operation over here, guys. Whew. And then we moved into this place in December. The big ball ache of it, I had to have shoulder surgery, you guys remember, back in February. I lost 3 months. By the way, I'm 3 months in, and I can get about up to there. I can't go all the way up. But PT twice a week. I started doing push-ups this week. I did my first push-up on Tuesday. Vic, you'd appreciate this probably more than anybody. I've been doing my the DDP yoga stuff for about a year now, and I couldn't do it anymore. And imagine if all of your insanity stuff got taken away. But I was just like that, right? So I did a push-up on Tuesday for the first time, and it was inclined, so just to set the record, you know. It was a 2. I think I did 3 incline push-ups on a bench, on a physical therapy bench. So it's all healed. Right now it's about breaking up scar tissue and re-stretching the labrum and the rotator cuff out so that I can get back to normal. But 13 weeks. And I'm going to a place that's a specialty therapy shop for pitchers, for baseball pitchers. And it's so much better than going one of the PT farms. Costs the same money, same copay, no difference. But it's very one-on-one. It's very like having a personal trainer or like having a trainer in a locker room. Whoever plays organized sports, at the level where you had trainers and assistants that would stretch you and ice you and things like that. It's like having that. It's like getting an hour twice a week of being stretched, worked out, all that kind of stuff. And I can't tell you what a difference it's made. So if you ever find yourself having to have shoulder surgery, find a local PT spot that specializes in pitchers. I also happen to be in college athletics mecca here in Raleigh. So there's definitely more of a demand for that kind of stuff here between UNC, Chapel Hill, Duke, Wake Forest, NC State. So, all of which have phenomenal baseball teams, by the way. But it's been fun to see the kids come in and out of there, and they're all like high school kids. And they're already prepping for careers by coming in and getting therapy done proper stretching, technique assessments, throw training, and all that kind of stuff. And all of the assistants in there have been in the game of baseball one way, shape, or form their whole career. So some of them are ex-players that couldn't play anymore that went and got into physical therapy. So they're helping me with my knee. I'm going to be, 77, so 43 this year, I think. I got a clicky hip. I'm old. I'm falling apart. Oh, it's so much more advanced, dude. So much more advanced. I mean, for me, training in baseball in high school was 2-a-days powerlifting. 4 days a week. And then 1 day of cardio. Day off cardio, day off, 4 days powerlifting. You're 51, I'm feeling it? Yeah. I was talking with my girl the other day, I guess a couple weeks ago now. And I was just like, the energy's gone. The energy, I want to keep working. My brain wants to keep going. But the energy's gone. It's real. It's real. I was 38, 39 going, nah. It's real. I don't know how I still do 18-hour days most days, but I do. What do you guys think of it? I mean, this Stream HUD thing down at the bottom. It's kind of, I think the difference is that on Twitch, there's much more little metrics to turn. On YouTube, there really isn't. Not until I get to above 1,000 subscribers and get partnered, and you guys can do super chats and all kinds of fun stuff, but stickers, and there's just not a lot of metrics to tick over other than subscribers on YouTube. Twitch, you've got bits to cheer and subs and followers and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I'm looking at this HUD thing going, It's almost not even worth having on screen. I'd rather just hang out with you guys. I don't care. I think that's going to be it for today, folks. I'm going to be back later tonight, probably around 9 or 10 Eastern, playing some Destiny and World of Warcraft over on Twitch. If you guys are still around, want to hang out, have a beer, shoot the shit. Got to do some wrestling stuff tonight. What else do I have to do today? I know I had something else I had. Is this that song? I think it is. Yeah. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about. I'll ask in Discord as well. By the way, if you're here and you're not already in there, make sure you jump into the Discord. Or I'll give you a link. We need to talk about cord cutting. Let's talk about it right now. I got a few minutes. We got about 20 minutes. What do you want? Everybody else might want to know too. So for those that don't know, when I moved back to LA in 2013, I never moved my DirecTV that I had. And I just said, I'm going to go cold turkey. I'm going to see how long I can make it. Haven't had cable TV since. It's fine. The water's fine out here. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you some lie that you're going to save $1 bajillion doing it. It's going to change your lifestyle. It's going to change the way that you consume content. It's going to change the way that you think about shows and how to watch them. Things that you probably wouldn't pay for in the past, you'll probably pay for now. So, I mean, yeah, if you have specific questions, definitely throw them in the chat here, because I think there's a lot of people that would love to talk about cord cutting, and I'll tell you guys what I have, and we can do some quick maths, and I'll show you that my bill is still almost $200 a month if you include my internet connection, which is $80 of that. I have gigabit AT&T fiber, and it's $80 a month. I saw some promo today on Twitter that they were doing it for $49.99. So if you have the availability to get AT&T Gigapower in your area, if you don't know, first, go check. Second, go get it, because they're doing a promo right now for $50 a month for the first year. It's never gone down in my 6 to 7 months of living here, by the way. No, not once. Not a blip, nothing. And 1 millisecond latency, gigabit up, gigabit down. Cut the cord about 2 years ago. Yeah, man. So I have. All right. Let me just hang on. Let me see what I can show you here, Brad. 1 second. And make sure it's not going to show you any PII. But I'll show you the way that I break things down. Account. Why'd you have to show my birthday on there? All right, let me see if I can do this and just put it off screen. Yes. Okay. Let's go over to main window. There we go. All right, Brad. I'm a Hulu guy. Let me tell you the story of Hulu, just so everybody knows. Coming from LA. Hulu was originally started by NBC back in 2007 or 8. When all of this cord cutting and streaming stuff started happening, NBC called up ABC, and they're like, "Man, have you guys see all this streaming stuff, right? Like, what are we supposed to do about this? Like, I don't know. Maybe we should just start our own thing. Like, Netflix was taken over at this point, right? But you could still get CDs or DVDs, Blu-rays, all that." But then they called Fox. And they were like, "Hey, Fox, so ABC and NBC and I were talking, and we think this is something you might be interested in, too. What if we all got together and we created this one service, and we could take all of our shows, we could still air everything on cable, on major network TV. Don't worry about that. Our slate's still going to be filled, but what's wrong with making it available the next day? I mean, that's what people are doing with DVR anyway. We could just make it available on demand on our own and charge people a monthly subscription for it." That's Hulu. Hulu is a modern version of TiVo. At least it was in the initial concepts. Or that's what it was for the first probably 10 years. About 2-3 years ago, they launched Hulu Live. And several other places did. YouTube TV, Sling TV, all have live TV because it's all sent out over broadband here. Early adopter of Hulu here. Then the commercial during the Super Bowl came out. It was over at that time. What commercial? Did I miss something, Vic? You've been with Hulu for 5 years? Okay, so forgive me for being a little pedantic and verbose there. I really wanted to have that story out there for anybody that wasn't familiar. So they introduced live TV, and I didn't really have a need to watch live TV until about last October. Brad, you know the answer to this. What started in October? AEW. AEW doesn't have a next day streaming thing. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll give the live TV a shot. Before, I was spending like $12 a month. $12. But to add live TV, it was $54. And then to be able to fast forward through commercials, if you're playing catch up on stuff, it's an extra, $9-10 a month. And then you got the bundle discount and all, like, so Hulu on demand, no ads. What they're still trying to work out on Hulu is to get their story straight around what's in their content versus what's the network's. And that's still a bit of a mess. So even if you cloud DVR record something, if it's not available on demand on their stuff, you're still going to be shown the commercials. And you can't fast forward through them unless you give them another $10 a month. It's effing stupid. However, this is the sweet spot. And it's about $70 a month. $71 a month. So right there, just between those two, I'm spending $80 for internet, $70 for Hulu, $150 a month. That does not include the $15 a month I give to, the $10 a month to WWE Network, the $15 a month to Netflix. What are the other ones? What am I not thinking about? It's $8 for Disney Plus. $8? $6? $7? Whatever. $8 a month to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, by the time you add all this stuff up, you're still at $200 a month. So you could go get DirecTV with good DVR, live TV, but you're still going to buy a lot of these other services too. That's the kicker. That's the disconnect. And Prime I get through Amazon. It's an annual $100 thing. This is why you have Sky service here in the UK. I get TV, internet, and phone for like $100-ish. Yeah, you can still do that here. You can find those bundles. It's going to be like 20 megabit per second internet though here. You might get 300 down, but you're going to get 10 up. I mean, you can kind of stream on that, but not really. I wouldn't. Cord cutting is just a different way of consuming content. It's not some panacea, holy shit moment that's gonna wipe away your entertainment bill. People think it's gonna wholesale replace traditional cable. It's the same companies, guys. It's all the same folks. So you've got Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, WWE Network. Really thinking about looking into AT&T Gigabit and doing Fire Stick throughout the whole house. So I would caution you again. I like the Fire Stick. It's great on the road. I don't like it at home. I've tried Roku, I've tried Fire Stick. Apple TV is where I landed. It's such an elegant experience. The App Store is awesome. So you need to cut out your $260 Comcast bill. Well, make sure that, if you've already got all that stuff already and a $260 Comcast bill, jump up to Hulu Live, get rid of Comcast TV. They're probably also sneaking phone service in on you for that amount. Keep an eye out for VoIP, which you probably don't need. Get your internet top of the line, or at least a 300 megabit per second-ish download, depending on what's available in your area. And then, let's see what you got. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, WWE. Yeah, I got all the same shit. Those are my 3 or 4. I canceled my HBO one when Game of Thrones was done. Didn't need it anymore. Oh, I did find out that as an AT&T Gigabit internet subscriber, I get the new HBO Max for free. I don't know what it is. Does anybody know what HBO Max actually is? Is it HBO and Skinamax combined? Do we get to watch shitty movies after 10 o'clock again? Oh, man. Skinamax. You guys remember Skinamax? It's HBO Go version 2. All right. Shitty movies for the win. Yeah, man. So yeah, if I add all of my stuff up, I think where people fall down in adding things up is they don't include the cost of their internet connection. You have to do that when you're talking about cord cutting and budgeting and things like that. You can't cord cut without internet. So to me, that's a fundamental. You can absolutely get cable TV without internet. You can't watch Hulu without internet. HBO and a bunch of syndicated shows from what I've heard. Okay. For one box, what are you talking about, Jason? The benefits are a Sky serves a little gym called Sky Q. Each of the set-top boxes acts as a Wi-Fi mesh. They're trying to do that with the Xfinity stuff, from what I understand. And I don't even know who owns them or what they own right now. You've got all the on-demand and live content, DVR features, and apps. Yeah, I get that. Licensed tech. Yeah. That's basically it. So if anybody, this is what my Hulu bill looks like with all of the options. I don't need the extra cloud DVR storage space. It's sneaky that they get away with that. But this is what you have to have in order to be able to watch something on demand and skip the commercials. Like originally, I just had Hulu and no ads. $12 a month or whatever it was. Does AT&T get AEW pay-per-view or are you using Fight for that? No, I'm using Bleacher Report. I'm buying it from BR Live. Streaming it. Because BR Live has... So Fight TV is not a bad option either. I just haven't tried it yet because BR Live has worked well for me for AEW stuff. And they've got apps for Xbox, for Apple TV, for PC. If you can watch it in your browser, you can watch it on your phone. Like BR Live, Bleacher Report Live, it has over-delivered from my expectations. So I've been impressed with it. The only other people watching BR Live are mostly soccer, football games, footy games. That's the main venue for getting footy games out there. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Nice interface. And I can run it on my Xbox and use my big headphones for the Xbox and watch it comfortably in the living room. Right? A lot of those with Apple TV or Roku or Fire Stick or any of that stuff, like unless you're bringing it in through a receiver, which is tricky to do with some of those sticks, you're not going to be able to like isolate it like that. AT&T TV, I think, as well as the new TiVo box, aggregates all your streaming services in one box. They try to. It's not anywhere near as elegant as an Apple TV. I know Apple TVs are expensive. The new ones are like $160. I remember when they used to be like $80. But you know, it's worth it, I think. There's one in each room of the house. And it's not because I went out and bought 8 of them. I've just accumulated them over time. Half of them I've won as giveaways at trade shows that we can't go to this year. I need to refresh some Apple TVs, guys. Come on, we need trade shows. Do the new ones do 4K now? Hell yes. Hell yes. 4K net. That's why I upgraded my Netflix to the $15 a month one so I could do the 4K HDR. Yep. Does it handle 4K from Plex? I don't know. I don't have anything on Plex that's 4K. I'm not transcoding that shit. But there is a Plex app for the Apple TV that will authenticate you back to your thing, and it'll hook together, and it brings in all your Plex stuff from Plex.tv. You know, when you normally go to Plex.tv and you hit launch on your computer? It's kind of, it works the same way. You just launch the app, you put in your 4-digit code to identify yourself, and then you have your... So once you do the one-time setup, it's done. You can just... I run it on Xbox, so I can listen on my headphones. That's the huge thing about SkyQ is our first 4K live TV service. I don't know that I want 4K TV yet. What? Yeah, I don't like it. I didn't like the 48 frame per second Hobbit stuff that Peter Jackson did for Hobbit. Too motiony. Took the cinematic look away from it. So for soap opera effect and, you know, TVs and things like that, I get it. For sitcoms, sure. The nature... Okay. Time out. Yes. Absolutely. To hear David Attenborough talking about hedgehogs in 4K is absurd. It's absurdly awesome. Yes. Oh, wrong one. There we go. So yeah, Brad, I hope that answered the question, man. It sounds like you've already got most of what you need. You've already got Hulu, which means you've already got decent internet. You can just eliminate your cable TV and VoIP phones. I'm imagining with a $280 bill, whatever you said it was, that you've probably got phones in multiple boxes in the house. So hang on one second. Have you seen an Amazon Fire TV stick before, Brad? Like in practice? Vic, thanks, man. Have a great weekend, dude. Have you actually seen a Fire Stick? Held one in your hand? Do you have any now? And just like that, he's gone. You use two of them at home. Okay, so you know they're big and they're kind of bulky. They're big rectangles. They got a short power cord. They have the big block power you have to plug it. So little things like that, they have to stick out from the back of your TV about 3 or 4 inches. So if you've got a wall-mounted TV, probably not getting that thing in there. Little things like that. Plus, I hate the UI. There's nothing. The UI is unintuitive. It's kind of clicky. The remote sucks. Trying to use the phone app sucks. I haven't had a good experience. I want to love it. I love Amazon Prime. I watch a ton of stuff on Amazon Prime. I just do it from the Amazon Prime app on Apple TV. I don't like the interfaces of the sticks. Not a fan. I'm not an overwhelming fan of Apple TVs. They're just the ones that I like the best. I hate the least, I think is the better way to say that. They're the ones that I hate the least. Yeah, the UI is a pain. Don't get me started on the Roku. People rave about the Roku, and I think it's only because they've never seen an Apple TV before. Guys, I hate to do it. It's top of the hour. I got to go do other stuff. Thank you so much. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun for me. I want to do more streams like that rather than me just sitting here talking about stuff. Let's do more stuff about where we're actually putting stuff together, putting things into practice. Next week, we'll get this thing mounted and up and running. But again, twitch.tv/DatacenterDude. In a few hours later tonight, I'll be back on. We'll be doing some video games, drinking some beers, hanging out, having a good time. I think me and Dooley are probably going to play some Destiny if he's around, and run around and do some crazy stuff in some of the hidden dungeons in Destiny. So make sure you're following the channel over there. Look out for those notifications later tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out today, guys. This was an absolute blast. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. Be nice to each other. Don't be a dick. See you guys.